Kingdom of Night is an isometric action RPG set in 1987 in Miami, Arizona, and it's probably going to surprise you in quite a few ways. The game takes place in a small town that gets completely overrun by demons and monsters after a cult accidentally opens an ancient evil portal. What makes this game interesting is how well it captures that 80s horror vibe like Stranger Things, with all the small town stereotypes and coming of age drama, mixed with cosmic horror. The whole game takes place during a single night, but don't worry, the game actually stretches across 15 to 20 hours of gameplay. It has a very focused and intense atmosphere. You play as John, a high school kid whose neighbor and crush Ophelia gets kidnapped by mysterious creatures. A robed stranger tells you there's an ancient evil sealed beneath the town, but someone removed 4 keystones that kept it locked away, releasing demon lords into the world. So naturally your job is to track down and defeat these demon lords to save Ophelia and the town. The main story here is pretty straightforward chosen one stuff, but the real actual highlight are the side quests. There are some really well written quest chains, particularly the ones leading to the 3rd and 4th demon bosses, and the various townspeople you meet feel authentic to that small town America setting. The game offers 5 classes with pretty different playstyles. You can pick Barbarian, Knight, Rogue, Necromancer or Sorcerer. The Necromancer is particularly fun because you summon minions that fight alongside you, though he's a fair bit squishy. Each class here definitely feels distinct, though they're not perfectly balanced. Some are definitely much more forgiving than others. The Barbarian and Knight are particularly strong and let you play aggressively. The character progression uses something called a Keychain instead of a traditional skill tree. It's basically a linear path where you unlock abilities and stat boosts as you level up. At level 10 you get the option to branch into another class path, which then allows you to mix abilities. You can also completely respec whenever you want, which is nice for experimenting with different builds. It's simpler than most RPG progression systems, but it works. The combat is action focused with attacking, dodging and class specific abilities that have cooldowns. You fight lots of enemies at once, which keeps things hectic and engaging. The game often throws big groups at you regularly, and elite enemies mixed into these groups provide good challenges. Your equipment here makes a real difference. Finding a strong weapon can completely change how fights feel. The bosses drop class-specific gear. The world here is open and you can explore the entire town from early on, though the tougher enemy areas naturally guide you toward the intended path. Quest markers help point you in the right direction, and discovering new areas and stories keeps exploration interesting. The game definitely has that old-school RPG feel where you need to pay attention to NPC dialogue and explore thoroughly. Since the game takes place entirely at night, there's a consistent dark, moody atmosphere with lots of blues and grays. It commits to that nighttime horror aesthetic completely, but the different areas can feel a bit samey because of that. The music varies between ambient background tracks and fuller songs with multiple instruments. The game has local co-op available if you want to play through the campaign with a friend. The different class combinations can create some fun synergies. As mentioned earlier, the game takes around 15 to 20 hours to complete, and for $20 that's fair value. After beating it on normal, you can try hard mode. The game does have some rough edges. For example, the enemy respawning when you change areas can get repetitive, and certain mechanics like the rogue's stealth could use refinement. But overall, for its price, it's a solid indie action RPG that nails the 80s horror atmosphere and offers enjoyable combat with good variety between classes. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.